Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of the NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we have some racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on the Cup Series side of things, but on the Trucks and Xfinity Series side of things we have some racing at Atlanta Motor Speedway here today. Kicking things off with the Truck Series race here where we qualified on a pole here for the truck race. When it comes to Atlanta, we always have a very strong run, so I was not concerned about coming into this one, and you can see off the start we were very quick. We had community member Cody Matherly in the truck for us here today as he went down into turns 1 and 2, and he'd already opened up like a 5/10 of a second gap or so, nearly a full second in just one opening lap of this race, and just shows how strong our team is in the Truck Series when it comes to Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we always have a strong run in Xfinity as well. Usually on the Cup Series side of things, it's actually quite a tough battle to win here for us. But coming through later in this race, Cody just opening up the gap here, and he had zero competition throughout the whole thing. So he was just cruising to victory, really. And that's exactly what he did. As he came through to the final lap now, out of turns 4, down the front straightaway, Cody Matherly comes through with a dominating performance and wins for us here in the Going Racing Trucks team. Now, as we're going to look at the rest of the finishing order, a Canadian there, Stuart Friesen in second place, rounding out the top 10. We had Natalie Decker. There you had Rafael Lassard there in P20 there, as you see at the very bottom. Gutierrez, as well as Clay Greenfield in last place, with Mike Carmen there in P31. But a great way to start off the episode. Hopefully we can continue that over here now into the Xfinity Series side of things with Paul Menard behind the wheel, and that Menard Chevrolet Camaro. For the first time ever in the Cup Series for our career mode, we will be running a Menards paint scheme in the next episode, so I'm excited for you guys to see that now. But Paul, unfortunately, he didn't fail inspection or anything, but he actually crashed on his qualifying lap, so he had a huge setback. But it is Atlanta, so we know Paul can make up a lot of ground here in a very short period of time. So I wasn't actually writing off a chance of victory yet. I thought, you know what, Paul, if he can work his way through traffic consistently and efficiently, he might still have an opportunity to somehow win this race. And he was making some aggressive moves, going 3 wide, sometimes even 4 wide when he needed to, and was moving his way forwards very, very fast here. He was already up towards the top 10 a little bit later in this race now, making a move on the outside of Ty Majeski. Then he went 3 wide up the middle through turn 3. He was now up into the top 5. He would get all the way up into 4th, even 3rd place just about here down this back straightaway. Now in the final lap, up the inside of Kimi Räikkönen into turn 3, and that was for 3rd place right there. You got the one car right there for 2nd place, and Paul's going to go to the outside of him, and sure enough, out of turns 4, it's not going to quite be enough, as Chris Buescher will be able to hang on for the win as Paul gets right to his back bumper, but comes up just short there from the very last position to 2nd place here for Paul Menard in Atlanta, as Buescher, Menard, Hemrick, Räikkönen, and Majeski round out the top 5. What a finish, though, overall for Paul Menard there to come back from such a horrendous qualifying effort where he crashed through turns 1 and 2, and of course had to start at the back now. But now we come through into the Cup Series, the championship racetrack from last season, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Very excited to see how we do here today. You see a new paint scheme on the car, another Razor alternate paint scheme for our car today. This one was made by a community member of mine. His name is Zentz. He actually has a YouTube channel that goes over a lot of modding in NASCAR Heat 5. I will link that in the description and share that in a community post for you guys to check out. But my qualifying lap didn't go very well again. I hit the outside wall out of turn 2. That screwed it up a little bit. We still got a solid lap, though, a 30.979. We qualify an acceptable 14th place here for considering what happened there out of turns 4. So I was actually pretty satisfied with that qualifying effort. Kyle Larson, our Gordon Hendrick teammate there, rounds up the top 10. Chase Elliott and McLaren on pole with his teammate of Sam Mayer, and then Eric Jones in 4th and P6 now as you look at the rest of that order on your screen. Noah Gragson down there in P29, and at the very bottom of the field you got my Going Racing driver of Daniel Suarez, unfortunately. So not the way we want to be starting with that team this season, but hopefully we can pick it up. Alright, boys, coming off of our first win on the year. Obviously, we didn't have a race-winning car, but, I mean, we were right there in the mix, and we put ourselves in position to win. So I don't see why we can't do that today. We got a fast car again. Let's go have a good one. There you hear myself on the radio to the team here as we're getting ready to take the green flag, coming off of our first win on the season on fuel mileage at Auto Club Speedway last episode. Ryan Blaney, our teammate for Gordon Hendrick Motorsports, crashed during qualifying. He's starting at the back along with Christopher Bell, who failed technical inspection now as we get ready to take the green flag here. Now moving up one spot due to Blaney going to the back now, so we're starting right behind Kyle Busch as the green flag is out, and we are underway from the 13th starting position as of right now this season. 4 races complete. 3 of them have been won by Gordon Hendrick Motorsports. Kyle Larson won the Daytona 500, went back-to-back, won the next race, and then, of course, we just picked up the win last episode, and the only other winner is Christian Eckes from Sonoma Raceway in that Red Bull racing car, and Kyle Larson was in position to win that one as well. So we've gotten 2 Gordon Hendrick cars to victory lane this season. Last season, when it was still a Hendrick Motorsports, we only had 1 Hendrick car get to victory lane, and that was myself now as we came through out of turns 4. Already into the top 10, 3 wide up the inside of Rajah Caruth, as well as Eric Jones there in that McLaren. So moving our way forwards very, very quick. Now up to P7, even P6 as we go down into turns 1. Chase Elliott leading the way over the number 8 of Zane Smith for Richard Childress Racing, who's having a very strong qualifying effort here today. Now making a move up the inside of Elliott to take potentially the lead here as we go down this back straightaway side by side up the inside of that 45-23-11 racing driver of Derek Kraus. And sure enough, Zane Smith to the lead as we exit turns 4. We get clear of that 45, and Lewis Hamilton, he was right on the back of us here after these opening laps, and he would actually get up my inside into turn 3 on this 3rd lap and make a move past me, no problem whatsoever. So Lewis Hamilton continuing to improve on ovals, showing his speed here today in Las Vegas, and he would now get to work. He would pass the McLaren driver of Sam Mayer. As I went down into turn 3, I was also working on passing Sam Mayer, but then I get really tight right here, and the Red Bull driver of Christian Eckes pounces on that opportunity, makes it 3 wide up the inside, and now he goes up all the way into P5 after being P7 about 5 seconds ago here. So we would settle in behind Mayer again, and then Mayer would actually get on the move. He passed Harrison Burton, he passed the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, and now I would be able to pass Harrison Burton into turn 3 as well, as he was a little bit off the pace here as we were closing in towards the halfway point of stage 1. So now I'm running down that Lewis Hamilton car, but then he would actually get back in front of Sam Mayer. So Mayer drops down to P5, Hamilton up to 4th place. The Red Bull of Christian Eckes would drive all the way through Chase Elliott as well as Zane Smith to take the lead. So he was showing a lot of speed here early in stage 1 as Elliott would drop down to P3, and Smith still runs P2, trying to put some pressure on that Red Bull driver now as we exit turns 4, right on the back of that 66 car of Mayer. But then we came through out of turns 2 on lap 14, and using that outside through turns 1 and 2 to my advantage, carrying that momentum all the way down the straightaway. That allowed me to get to his outside. But then we get stuck side by side with Sam Mayer. We were side by side for pretty much the rest of the stage right here. We were just going at it back and forth. None of us could get really clear of each other right here. It was Sam's opportunity to clear me down into turns 1, and he does get clear for a brief amount of time, but I'm going to have so much momentum through the center and the exit of 1 and 2 that I'm going to be able to once again just fight right back to his outside here. So now on to lap 17, approaching the final 2 laps of this first stage. Elliott to the inside up front of the number 83 of Christian Eckes, going for that lead with 2 laps to go, still side by side with the number 66 car, but the caution actually comes out, and we will end stage 1 in the 5th position. So overall, I mean, I was happy with P5. Christian Eckes was barely able to hold off Chase Elliott and get that lead back from him when that caution had come out, and now everybody will be coming into the pit lane here. A very easy call for myself to make here, 2 cans of fuel as well as 4 fresh tires. I was considering potential adjustments. Overall, I was happy with the car, but I decided to just put up the grow tape to 40% here and get ready for the start of the 2nd stage. Chase Elliott actually gets ahead of the 83 Red Bull car of Eckes there out of the pit lane, so he will lead us back to the green flag here for the start of stage 2 in Las Vegas. And now it is time to get amped. there you have the AMP segment here. You saw it all happen right there in the couple opening laps of the second stage. Lewis Hamilton up the inside of us as he tries to take back that fourth position. I'm most comfortable running up here on that outside through turns 1 and 2, and I found a rhythm that I was going up on the top through turns 1 and 2, and it was working pretty well, and then I was trying to jump down to the bottom in 3 and 4 when I could, and it felt like just kind of doing that pattern seemed to work the best overall consistency-wise. But now as we came through to lap 5 of stage 2, I had now gotten passed by Ryan Preece, who just drove by on the inside. Chase Elliott kind of falling off a little bit now. Elliott been very strong this season, but surprisingly as strong as McLaren as a whole has been, they have yet to go to victory lane as we make a 3 wide now with Ryan Preece and Chase Elliott into turn 3 on lap 6 of 19 here in stage 2. So getting aggressive now as we are trying to get up into that battle, but up front it is a Red Bull versus Mercedes battle for P1 and 2 between Eckes and Hamilton right now. What a story that is. Of course, as you guys know in real life right now, Red Bull Mercedes going back and forth at it right now as Max Verstappen is starting to stretch out a points gap well over 30 points now ahead of Lewis Hamilton. He is in real life heading into the next race at Silverstone, so very excited to see what happens in real life there as Verstappen looks for his first World Drivers' Championship. And of course Red Bull has that opportunity to extend their constructors lead over Mercedes, as well as Valtteri Bottas continues to kind of struggle a little bit there for Mercedes. But very cool to see that making its way into our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode now as we go down into turns 3 behind that number 2 car of Ryan Preece up the inside of Zane Smith. And sure enough, out of turns 4, we finally get past Zane Smith, move back up into 4th place, but it was continuously Red Bull versus Mercedes. They were swapping the lead back and forth. They were clearly the fastest cars here in stage 2, but none of them could get away from each other. Hamilton all over Eckes, Eckes was all over Hamilton the next lap, and they were, like I said, just continuing to swap the lead back and forth now as that make a move up the inside of the 2 of Ryan Preece here on this 10th lap of the second stage. And sure enough, through turns 3, we get clear out of turns 4 and move up into that 3rd spot as we try to run down those front 2 drivers that are so fast. And you can see I really had nothing for them now as we came through out of turns 4, approaching the final 9 or 8 laps of the second stage now as we just try to hold off 4th place on back. Now there's trouble behind us, so out of turns 4, big hit to the outside wall. Harrison Burton blows a right front tire. Caution's going to come out. He gets hit by the 1 car of Noah Gragson, the 42 of Tyler Reddick involved as well. He's going to come back up on the track, and he's going to turn across the nose of the 12 of Chase Briscoe and turn himself around once more as a caution comes out here in Las Vegas, forcing several drivers into the pit lane, including myself. We're going to take 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel, and Noah Gragson elects to stay out after the caution. A very baffling call to say the least from him, but either way now, I mean, we get into the lane that we preferred to be in, so I was happy with that because Christian Eckes in the Red Bull, well, he's stuck behind the slower car, and I mean, it's not a terrible restart for Noah Gragson, but I'm sure you're really going to see the true pace of that car when we go through the center of turns 1 and out of turns 2, and definitely down that back straightaway. I mean, right now he has the lead, but Lewis Hamilton and myself power through on the exit of the corner, and here we go, giving a push to Lewis Hamilton, and now we're going to move through into 2nd place behind the Mercedes 7-time Formula 1 World Drivers Champion now as we come through turn 3. And out of turns 4, though, you can see he's already pulling out a gap. So there's a lot of speed in that Mercedes Petronas car here today, and I just had nothing for him, at least at the end of the second stage, coming to lap 17, 3 laps to go in stage 1, and Lewis continuing to open up a gap, now about 4 or 5 car lengths or so between himself and I was now just trying to play defense over the cars behind of Zane Smith for Richard Childress Racing, and we were just hoping that Christian Eckes wouldn't get up into the mix. Unfortunately, coming to the white flag here in stage 2, Eckes had gotten past the 8 of Smith, and then he had also gotten to the inside of myself. So he makes the pass, and then here comes the 8 of Zane Smith out of nowhere. He's going to pass me as well as we go down into turns 1, but we're going to fight back right here through the center of the corner on this final lap of stage 2, and we actually get back clear of Zane Smith as we exit turns 2, and we're going to have one maybe opportunity to make a move on Christian Eckes here into turns 3 and try to get that 2nd position back here before the stage comes to a close, but I really had nothing for him, and he defended well to the inside. So Lewis Hamilton out of turns 4 comes through to win the 2nd stage in Las Vegas. Christian Eckes in the Red Bull chasing him down there for 2nd place as we have to settle for P3, Zane Smith and Ryan Preece rounding out the top 5, and rounding out the top 10 you got that 2311 driver of Bubba Wallace just behind his teammate of Derek Kraus now. So McLaren hasn't really been on it here in Stage 2. The only driver they have in the top 10 currently is Sam Mayer in P8. So they are kind of struggling a little bit here in Las Vegas so far today. Now, as everybody once again will be coming into the pit lane, we're going to take 2 cans of fuel, 4 fresh tires. I didn't want to make any adjustments at this point because the car felt really good, and I definitely think we might even have a chance to win this race if it comes down to a long run and we gain 1 spot on the pit lane and join Lewis Hamilton on the front row. Now we have an opportunity to maybe steal the lead away here on the restart. We're on our preferred lane, but that might not help us a lot through turns 1 and 2. That, well, of course, you want to be on the inside, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens here as we make the stretch down towards turns 1. Harrison Burton, so far, the only driver out of this race. Unfortunate for him. Joe Gibbs Racing overall having a really rough start to this season. Definitely something we haven't seen before in the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode, but of course a lot of R&D changes over the offseason with teams getting better, teams getting worse now, and one of those teams that have really gotten worse is Stewart-Haas Racing. They have really been far off now as we tried to put the fight there to Lewis Hamilton on the outside, but unfortunately we have absolutely nothing for him there at the end of this first and opening lap here of this third and final stage. Of course, we do have a pit stop that we will have to do before the stage, or before this race comes to a close, so we have that to bank on to bring in some potential strategy here. Now, as Christian Eckes in that Red Bull Racing Toyota Camry has gotten to our left rear quarter panel down this back straightaway, and I was clear of him right here into turn 3, so I take it there. We weren't clear by much, but I decided to be defensive here. We know we have to fight as hard as we can at this point if we want any opportunity at all to win this race now, and we were surprisingly sticking with Lewis Hamilton just fine here in the first couple laps at least of this third and final stage. So 23 laps ago, moving back up to the top into turns 1 as well as turns 2, and unfortunately Eckes again going to get to the inside, but this time he has a way better run than he did last lap. We're going to be pretty even down this back straightaway, and I realize right here he's going to definitely get me in turn 3. So unfortunately I had absolutely nothing for him right there. So once again it turns into a Mercedes versus Red Bull battle, and you're seeing it go into full force right here. Eckes to the lead for Red Bull Racing, but Hamilton, well, he would go back to the lead a few laps later. I was losing contact with these guys. I was now drifting down towards the 4th place driver of Zane Smith, but just continuing to watch that battle. But I have a slip up out of turns 3 and 4 right there after I hit the apron, and that allowed Zane Smith to go up the inside and make the pass there. So we dropped down to 4th place with now Ryan Preece getting to our bank bumper here within the final 18 laps in Las Vegas Motor Speedway. But once again, Christian Eckes for the Red Bull Racing team goes back to the lead, and then Hamilton was putting the fight right back to his inside into turn 3, and he would take the lead back now. And I was trying to work with Zane Smith here and trying to push him when I can so we could kind of do that little tandem draft tactic to try and work our way back towards the front. Unfortunately, it really wasn't working now as I just didn't have the car to actually stick with his bumper when I needed it to down the straightaways. So now we're looking at the green flag pit stops here coming in a few laps time. Now 12 laps ago we got about 4 or 5 laps of fuel in the car, actually 6 laps of fuel in the car as Eckes continues to lead the way, but in turn 3 there's actually a crash behind us. CJ McLaughlin goes around, gets hit by the number 38 of Todd Gilliland, and up and over he goes as Tony Bradinger hit him in the side. Caution comes out for a wild crash here in Las Vegas Motor Speedway with 12 laps to go, and this forces everybody onto the pit lane. An easy call to make here, 2 right side tires, and then just enough fuel to get this thing to the finish of this race. So now we're going to get ready to go green, and we overtake Zane Smith on the pit lane, and we'll get ready to go green from P3 behind the Red Bull and Mercedes duo of Christian Eckes as well as Lewis Hamilton. Now as the green flag is back out, less than 10 laps remain here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Now as we could get aggressive here and try to make it 3 wide, I didn't feel like I needed to try and be that aggressive. Now I didn't really feel the confidence that I could complete the pass right there on Christian Eckes without destroying our momentum, so I decided to just stay safe and stay right behind him. We already got a win here at Auto Club now, so we don't have to be over aggressive yet, but if we come down to maybe an overtime restart or something like that, well, you know exactly what to expect at that point. Now as Chase Elliott in the McLaren has found his way back up towards the top 5. He's now 3 wide in the middle between his teammate of Sam Mayer and then the number 8 car of Zane Smith here as we cross the line. 8 laps to go in Las Vegas, and once again Lewis Hamilton putting the fight to the inside of the 83 of Christian Eckes out of turns 4 with 7 to go, coming to 6 to go, and Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time F1 Drivers' Champion, moves back up into the lead. And as we came through now out of turns 4 on lap 62 coming to 63, I'm surprisingly hanging with these guys pretty well, but then the caution comes out as we cross the line to hit 5 laps to go, and this is going to force overtime, or sorry, not overtime, just a 2-lap dash in regulation here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Could not get a replay of what brought out that crash right there, but either way, now we have an opportunity to maybe steal a race win if we have a really good restart here, as Lewis Hamilton, it's been Mercedes versus Red Bull all day long, and now we have a chance to spoil the party. Getting ready to go green from P3, 2 laps to go as the green flag is back up. Sam Mayer on my outside, Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott on the row behind, as now we get a very good launch down towards turns 1. We're not going to waste any time. We make a move up the inside of Lewis Hamilton through turns 1, 3 wide with the Mercedes and Red Bull drivers, and we get clear of both of them as we come through out of turns 2, and now we got to defend over both lanes here. A lap and a half to go from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We kind of stole a win in Auto Club last episode on fuel mileage. We saved just enough fuel. We ran out into turns 3, but we're able to cruise to victory, and out of turns 4, leading the way to the final lap here in Las Vegas. We are in position to steal a win again here for the second time this season and second time in a row. As we go down into turns 1, instead of running the top, I play it safe. I run the bottom. We get a huge run through the center of 1 and 2, and then I completely destroy the exit of the corner. That brings Lewis Hamilton right back up into the mix as we go down the SPAC straightaway within a car length as we go down into 3 and 4 for the final time. Myself to the inside, Hamilton and Eckes in the Mercedes and Red Bull to the top, and they are going to get a huge run as we come through out of turns 4. We're going to have to be ultra defensive here over Lewis Hamilton coming to the line. We will win in Las Vegas.
Great job, driver. Checker flag is in the air. It's yours.
What a finish, what a win. We stole it at the last restart of the day, and wow, they were coming across the line there. Hamilton gave it everything he had. He was still sliding into my door after we crossed the line, but I almost feel bad for that one, because that would have been really cool to see a guy like Lewis Hamilton or Christian Eckes again pick up the victory. But of course, I mean, I'm going to go for every win we can get. Last season compared to this season, an unbelievable change now, as we've won 2 races, and like I said, last season it took us to race number 20 to pick up a single win. So now 5 races in, and we've won 2 of them this season. So our final season of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode is off to a tremendous start, and hopefully we can continue like that throughout the rest of this final season. And in the next one, we go to Phoenix Raceway. Not sure if we're going to quite have that same level of speed in the car. We didn't have a race-winning car today by any means, but we just had a tremendous final restart, and then I was able to defend well enough over both the Mercedes and Red Bull there, as Logano looks like he was the reason for that last caution. He DNF'd 6 laps it down, so unfortunate for him, but great for us now, because 5 races down, and Gordon Hendrick Motorsports has won 4 of them. This Jeff Gordon taking over the leadership role of that Hendrick team from last season, so far making out to be a tremendous change and a surprising change. We weren't even a top 5 team in preseason testing, and we've now won 4 of the 5 races, and Red Bull being the only other team winner so far. McLaren looking unbelievably strong, but they need to find victory lane somehow. So as always though, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch it, and I would of course like to say thank you to the Going Racing members on the channel of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Bubba Jr., Brett Durward, Dark Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasura, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Dana9302, as well as KMatt XL. I appreciate your guys' support so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one at Phoenix. Have a great day, everybody.